And what a thrill of anticipation that gives you to see those famous black jerseys once again on this great Murrayfield pitch. And what a roar for the Scots in their all-white rig-out today, so as not to clash with the New Zealanders, led of course by Ian McLaughlin, as the two bands play them on. And the Scottish side there with just the one new cap in it, David Johnson at centre. Big landmark for Andrew Irvine, his 33rd international, equalling the record for a Scottish back held by the late great Arthur Smith. And so the All Blacks come across for the traditional haka, the war dance, before the match starts. They reckon that some of the words of that that the All Blacks there gave is that the New Zealand storm is about to break, and those are the fellas who are going to do it. As I say, 6 players new to major internationals, very talented backs. Stu Wilson happily fit, big responsibility there on Eddie Dunn, and of course this big powerful pack led by Graham Murray. So the preliminaries are over. Graham Murray, the final little chat to the side. 0 hour here. The one new cap on the Scottish side, David Johnston of Watsonians. The referee for today is Roger Whittington of England, taking charge of his 4th major international, did the Welsh match against New Zealand last season. Richard Wilson starts the match, and immediately in comes Alan Tomes. Ian Lambie had it, Brad Johnson in with the tackle, and Graham Murray as well. So the first scrummage of the match, and this will be a very interesting area indeed today. A certain amount of vulnerability perhaps in the New Zealand scrummage, but perhaps not as much in their test pack as in their midweek pack. A free kick for Not Straight. So it's John Rutherford who started his caps last season. Well, no better start for a young standoff half than that. John Rutherford of the Border Club Selkirk. So Andy Dalton with the first throw-in. Brad Johnson at the front with the sweatband for the All Blacks. John Fleming behind him. Ian Milne driving through. Held there by Murray Mexted. So Ian Milne, the young Herriater in the tight head position who played against Ireland and France last season. And here Milne, number 3 there, backing against Brad Johnston. Johnston, the tough Aucklander. Good heel, the first one for Scotland. Alan Lawson, Rutherford, Rennick, that's the switch to Bruce Hay. Down goes Lambie, but Murray got feet to it. Andy Irvine trying to bounce it into touch. This is Bernie Fraser. But there had been a knock forward, and they come back to the All Blacks 10 metres line. All Blacks slightly the heavier in the scrummage, but not by a lot. Good day for scrummaging because it's firm footing underneath. Leverage to Eddie Dunn. Out there to Cunningham, nicely along the line. Richard Wilson to Stu Wilson. That's a good tackle by Bruce Hay. And that would be a good feeling for the Boroughmuir captain to get in his first tackle on his very slippery opposite number, Stu Wilson. New Zealand 10 metres line, number 7 at the tail for Scotland is Gordon Dixon, the big Gala flanker. Ian Lambie, their Watsonian number 8 in front of him. 6 at the tail for New Zealand, this famous tail gunner Ken Stewart. Lawson. Free kick there for perhaps closing the gaps. And Richard Wilson, the fullback, to take it. Bruce Hay waits. It's hoisted high, not into touch. Cross comes Mexted. Mexted caught by David Gray. Good lay back to Loveridge, out to Dunn. That's on the narrow side. Back goes Rutherford. Rutherford trips. Fleming was up there. Dalton drives in. Now it's Loveridge again to Dunn. This quick transference along the line from Taylor to Mexted. Mexted in a centre position. Rennick intercept on his own 22. Mike Bigger works in. Now it's Alan Lawson. That's found space. So Alan Lawson, playing in his 14th international, gets in that raking kick. There's the skipper in his 43rd international and their captain for a record 19th time, Ian McLaughlin. Dalton throws. Gray got through on the other side. Dixon tries to clear it. Now it's back to Lawson, beautifully out to Rutherford. But the advantage had gone the wrong way. They're just on the All Blacks 10 metres line. Loveridge, hounded by Lawson, forced to give that dodgy pass. Now it's along to Taylor, along to Cunningham. This is Richard Wilson in the line. Wilson releases Stu Wilson, a great tackle by Rutherford. So young Rutherford making a very promising start indeed to this match. Lovely touch kicking and that fine covering tackle. Colin Deans, captain of the Hoyt club this season. Lawson, Rutherford, along the line to David Johnston. That's a searing kick. That really has found space and it's awkward too. Well, a tremendous ovation round the ground, of course, because this in a sense is a home ground for David Johnson. His club Watsonians play not so far away from here. And what a feeling for the young 21-year-old to get in that lovely kick. Dalton trying to use Hayden. Lawson, but a penalty against David Gray for obstruction. Richard Wilson making sure of the mark. And a very good safe kick indeed. Some pretty good touch kicking in the game so far. Richard Wilson here, built rather on the traditional New Zealand lines for a fullback, a big, strong, stocky lad. Fleming got fingers to that one. And Hayden trying to drive. In goes Murray. Now it's back to Loveridge, out to Dunn. Dunn along the line to Taylor. Taylor trying to find space, but has found Bruce Hay. Hay in trouble with the bounce, but recovers. Referee decided that it had hit his hand and that it was a knock-on. Bruce Hay having a difficult time over on that side because probably a lot of folk don't appreciate he's actually looking into the sun to that slanted kick. You can see him there shading his eyes, and he's really, he'll be glad to get over to this other side in the second half. Good strike by Dalton, the pick up there by Mexted, out to Loveridge, has found space, across comes Irvin. Irvin beats Stu Wilson, but he's half held by him. That's a nasty ball. Murray driving on there, just short of the line. Still there, driving, and has he got the ball down? Loveridge, and Loveridge has scored. And so David Loveridge scores his first try in a major international for New Zealand. Scored one against the Argentine side recently. And it all came from the lovely slanting kick from Taylor. So the All Blacks go 4 points ahead after 16 minutes, and it all came from the slanting kick. Andy Irvin half pulled away by Stu Wilson, and then the All Blacks captain Murray driving on, ducking and weaving and bobbing, seemed to have got over himself, didn't get the ball down, managed to work it back, and it was then easy for Loveridge. And so that's it, with about 17 minutes of the first half gone. Rutherford restarts. Mexted.
Well, Bill, just as I thought Scotland were beginning to weather the pressure, New Zealand was showing what is the strong part of their game, and that is getting up on the man very, very quickly. I thought Scotland were possibly over the worst, but then you can see that you can never take anything from New Zealand for granted.
Deans throws. Dixon gathers in. This is David Gray. Penalty for blocking off on the wrong side. I think Alan Tomes, the player penalised there, going over on the other side. Well, the New Zealand fullback certainly is following in the footsteps of great lads like Don Clark and Willimont and Fergie McCormick and Joe Karam, and he's turning out to be virtually as steady as they were. It's a Scottish 10 metres line. Deans throws. Mexted got hands to it. Loveridge out to Dunn. Throw in not to the referee's satisfaction. Oh, that's one against the head. Colin Deans, Lawson, Rutherford. Rutherford making Richard Wilson run for it. Got a very nasty bounce inside his own 22. Harassed there by Keith Robertson. And so that's probably the one point about Richard Wilson that the Scots are trying to exploit. Being a hefty chap, he's a bit slow on the turn, not quite as manoeuvrable perhaps as some lighter fullbacks. Deans throws Mexted again. Loveridge. Taylor in trouble. Just in front of his own post. Now it's out there to Lawson. Lawson switching. Out to McLaughlin. There was no support on the right-hand side. Keith Robertson was miles away. Now it's the breakout by Bernie Fraser. Running past Keith Robertson. Knocks into Alan Lawson. My goodness, he's a tough lad, but David Johnson puts him down. Kicked on by Ken Stewart. And so the Scots tackling there shown up by this powerful lad Bernie Fraser, who scored 4 tries in his matches so far on this tour. Free kick for Not Straight. Loveridge. Murray. Out there to Fleming. Hayden going in. Now it's Loveridge. Beautifully out to Dunn. That was quick. Dunn trying to run outside his man. In comes Irvine. Misses it. Lawson covering. On the Scottish 22. The Scots in all kinds of trouble there as the All Blacks drive in. But a penalty against the All Blacks for being on the wrong side. Eddie Dunn, the little Maori standoff, showing a little touch of his nippiness and class. Delicate little kick. Oh, Rutherford again. Massive kick. Dutch judge deciding that his foot wasn't in touch. Irvine. So Andy Irvine with no chance yet to show his paces and as an intruding fullback. So again, throw in Not Straight. There's a good lot of pressure being exerted in that front row on both sides. I think the Scots with a couple against the head so far. They've taken another one, but the referee's whistle is gone. And so Ian Milne, number 3 there, is obviously making his presence felt in that front row. It's the young Heriots vice-captain of this season. Well, Scotland have taken it again. Bigger with the pickup, out to Lawson. That's useful, it's high. It's going to drop, still in play. Bernie Fraser goes back, caught there by Lawson, inside the New Zealand 22. Lawson again, Rutherford along the line to Rennick, to Johnston, to Hay, out to Irvin. Irvin comes inside, sidestepping, almost up to the line, looking for the support. And the thing the Scottish crowd have been waiting for, a little bit of magic from Andy Irvin. All starting from this lovely second phase ball and then swiftly along. It was a lovely pass from David Johnson and an even better one from Bruce Hay. And Andy Irvin looking just for support, but blocked off there by Murray Taylor. Lawson, Rutherford, the Gary Owen. Back there goes Andy Hayden, and there's an example of the whole All Black pack, back in cover. A brilliant bit of work by their forwards. And that's just the kind of thing we were talking about. All Black forwards go backwards virtually as quickly as they go forwards, and very often win ball that they shouldn't do. Deans throws, Gray got hands to it, Lawson, Rutherford, they missed out, Johnson out to Rennick, to Robertson, to Andy Irvin, Irvin cutting inside. Irvin with that flaring pace, looking for support, gets it from Lawson. Lawson changes and hoists. Back there is Richard Wilson. Called for the mark. Was inside his own 22. Remember, this season you can only make a mark inside your own 22 area. A marvellous return kick by Richard Wilson. Deans throws well, I'd say one or two fellas were offside there. Midway between the Scots 22 and halfway. Randy Dalton was quick with his foot there. Loveridge, Dunn, that's hoisted far, Irvin in position. On his left foot, Richard Wilson. So Andy Irvin had actually called for the mark. And this is Irvin. Oh, he hasn't found touch. This is Loveridge. Murray Mexted switches towards the touchline. Well tackled there by Keith Robertson. Loveridge hounded there by McLaughlin. Dunn trying to run past Rutherford. Down goes Bigger. Dunn gets it back. Gives it there to Murray. Oh, the New Zealand captain over the 22. Inside to Loveridge. Brilliant stuff by Ken Stewart. A metre short of the Scottish line. Loveridge. Ian McLaughlin saved it there. Down goes Lambie. That really was a brilliant bit of New Zealand play. Once again with the captain, Graham Murray, playing the principal role. The referee's whistle has gone for half-time. And that man there, Graham Murray, must be pretty well satisfied because he's played a tremendous part. He might well have produced a second try there as he did their first one. And he must be happy too at the way the forwards are dealing with the Scottish pack. Although the Scots pack certainly have shown plenty of fight and fire. The New Zealanders, having played 24 games in Scotland and never once been beaten. Referee Quinton blows his whistle for the start of the second half, and Andy Irvin puts it up to there where his opposite number, Richard Wilson, touches down. And right away, Murray Taylor going to take one of those quick dropouts, but has put it straight out on the full, and so Scotland will get the scrummage right in the middle of the 22. Now then, we haven't seen any ploys from the Scottish breakaway forward so far, other than to try and take away Turnbull. I wonder if they would try something here. No, Lawson to Rutherford. Rutherford switching. Rutherford the kick through for young Johnston. There goes Stu Wilson. Caught by Johnson, got his kick in. work by Stu Wilson here, who, remember, has had this groin trouble since before the tour started. World-class player if ever there was one. Ian Lambie, the number 8 for Scotland, has moved up to number 2 in the line, and Alan Tomes has dropped back. Tomes at the back, and that was fly to Lawson, Rutherford, but the referee deciding that he was pushing away with his elbow. So it's Richard Wilson once again. Sliced that one. Hay gave the call, took it well. That's got snow in it, and Eddie Dunn's underneath it. Oh, he made a good mark. McLaughlin in, but the mark had been given, and that really was brave, because when Bruce Hay's coming up at you, you feel like it's a kind of Sherman tank effect. So Eddie Dunn, very high. Dixon waits. Gordon Dixon scored a try against France last season, playing great stuff for Gala this season so far. Thrown over the top, Stewart, caught by Lambie. All Blacks not responsible for the stoppage, so they get the boot in. There's Mike Biggar, number 6, who's playing in his 20th international and will lead the Anglo-Scots against the New Zealanders on Wednesday. The Scots, of course, had a little bit of scrummage superiority in the first half. Took a couple against the head that I remember, and they'll be wanting to exploit that again. And that's a penalty. And I think maybe against Ian Milne, the tight head prop, for dropping it in. Thoughts of taking a tap penalty move, but wiser counsels prevail. Richard Wilson again. Well, that really is another probing kick by Wilson. He has had a very steady match indeed today, the Canterbury fullback. Tomes flicks, it's a nasty one. Down goes Dixon, Lawson caught. Booted on, up to Stu Wilson. Stu Wilson cutting inside, this is where he's dangerous. Now it's Dalton, Loveridge out to Dunn, along to, meant to be kicked through. That was Rutherford almost getting the interception as the ball rebounded. Murray Taylor caught by Biggar. He really is a workhorse, Mike Biggar there, attaching himself to the scrimmage. All the unglamorous chores he does with relish. Loveridge, Taylor, out to Dunn as a centre. Stu Wilson, half caught, well tackled by David Johnston inside the Scots 22. Down there went Hay, this is Lawson. And Alan Lawson having to look quick there, but again getting the kick away with that left foot. So, once again, the New Zealanders with this two-man line that clearly they've been practicing assiduously. Maxted, oh, and he's clean through. What a great bit of work that was. Can Maxted get to the line? What a try! That's a brilliant individualist try for this young All Black, whose father was an All Black before him, and he really made it look so simple. Straight through the two-man line, and nobody could stop him. Andy Dalton's throw, of course, was inch perfect, and look how he took it and burst clean away up the front, beating the tackle of Milne and of McLaughlin and coming inside Hay. So Richard Wilson. Oh, that's a super kick. Beautiful kick from that angle. And so that's a crucial lead for the All Blacks. 10 points to 0 with about 7 minutes of the second half gone. And that really does set it up to Scotland now. Irvine with the restart. Wilson again. Hasn't found touch. Alan Tomes. Well, that's a great sight. 16.5 tons of prime Scottish beef. Bruce Hay from Lawson. It's hanging about in front of the New Zealand post. Wilson in trouble. That could be an offside. Ken Stewart playing the ball after his own man had played it behind him. And that's a penalty to Scotland in front of the post. And Ian McLaughlin makes a signal to the referee so that there will be no doubt Andy Irvine is going to try the goal. No problems there. Andy Irvine with his 144th point for Scotland in 33 internationals. 10 points to 3 for New Zealand. 8 minutes of the second half over. So that's the Scottish 22. Deans throws, Tomes up, and then goes the drive. That was a bit out of the New Zealand book there. Now it's Lawson. Rutherford. Very high one, but the wind is taking it perhaps a bit too far. Eddie Dunn couldn't hold it, caught there by Biggar, and half done. Now it's back to Lawson, out to Rutherford. Rutherford going past Murray Taylor, but into real trouble there. So Scotland striving desperately just to get another score that would put them within breathing distance. 10 points to 3, and I make it that with 20 minutes of the second half gone. The New Zealand 10 metres line. Lawson setting off, going past Stewart. Lawson into the 22, flips it up there for his flanker. Ian Lambie was there, Dixon was there. And so a lovely little run by the Scottish scrum half. And that's the New Zealand 22. There is a point about the All Blacks that in one or two of their matches they have tended to lose their momentum in the last 10 minutes, a quarter of an hour. But this was the classic scrum half break, a lovely layback, and Lawson with real acceleration there, went right outside Ken Stewart, checked inside, flipped it up, and it was Lambie who took it on and just lost control over the 22. Tremendous effort by the Scottish breakaways there too. All three of them were close at hand when Alan Lawson did the switch. And in that respect, they really their hearts is the All Blacks do have flanker. However, it's Lawson. Out to Rennick to Diston. Just out to Irvine. Going for Kenny. Just tackled by David. It's a brilliant bit by the New Zealand. But that Gareth was a while ago was exactly what Scotland need. As Crucian's Irvine. And within penalty against the All Black. It may have been dangerous play, but the Loveridge was the who got across to get a tackle. Super to covering. Irvine goes as this. He really fussy. Just love the fellow. There was for Loveridge, but that really set. And of course there is this Augusti, which is Wilson got across the ball. Then see. Irvine. No, it is going out to the right there, but they will have to play it. He did over. Oh, he called for a mark. Well, he's sensible indeed. It's just short of his own line, most of us. So that really was probably the best, because it gives him the touch in what would have been a 5 metre. Murray broke his leg places. 1977 months out of the game, but what a he's made. Throws Gray, gathered in by Mill. Lost snarly heels of it and trying to do a bit of work as well. Dixon, Loveridge, Sedan, Dari. He is a little ferret that he excites the crowd too often. Play back, Rich, Dunn, Taylor. That was carried in two into against the first stand. And that second 5-8 put him into against us. He plays to Dean's throwing, Tomes, Biggar gathers in, out, Mike Biggar. And Tafer prevents Brad Johnson, the plane lies there. Far since Doctor in into 4 points now. That sees it. Still a pretty long kind of day. That looks better. It's come there. See that found this huge field, because that puts Scotland really within this, points to 6. And I make it that we've about 12 of the match to go, plus a bit of time. He'll be pretty well satisfied with that kick. It was one of his best. New Zealand as we start through Rich goes Andy Hayden, in goes so Blacks have got their full line out. Dalton short, Loveridge. It was a good inning drive. New Zealand have gained a little bit of ground. But probably the points for most is that they've been into the scrummage because of gaining ground. Just Scotland's 22. Love done. The switch there. Cunningham who's outside. Back to Loveridge. Chased there by Lawson. Bigger into his own 22. They've gone by Laser. Here comes David Johnston. David Johnston in front post. Gordon Dix out there to Rennie. Bruce Hay. That was very cool indeed by Scotland. It was panicked at one stage and then they settled through Rennie and managed to get it clear. Well, indeed, good day in scrimmages. Here are the Blacks with room for manoeuvre. Met out for Kent. Caught by in goes and fed on to Johnson. Spears the big tight hit. They lay by Loveridge. Loveridge with this burst away. Rutherford. Died to Stu at the front. So Stu Wilson had scored here for New Zealand. Surely lit now. The All Blacks leading by points. There's about 90 to go. It was this drive by full John Spears did it. The sudden burst, Dave Loveridge. It hadn't a lot of room to work it in. It's leap past the ref dead in line, so pushing forward. Holmes, Rutherford threw it, caught there by Mexted. On pass by London. That really poor skill. He's caught on the wrong, flipping the ball already done, going up and Murray, attention. Well, he's not. Loveridge is player. Murray was who telling me that Loveridge needed of help. Typical and Gareth to do such a try at the moment.
Let's give them it because should surely have been Scotland under a penalty. Methodical, clinically, they got back into position and scored an excellent.
Loveridge of the field that Eddie Dunn has come to scrum half. Is Lawson, Rutherford, Bid Johnston, right out to Irvin coming inside. Stu Irvin still 10 metres line, caught by Dalton. Now it's Gusson drive. Lost Rutherford. Half blocked, Murray's the wing, streaming from that head inside. And Dunnig providal Kigley. Has had a tremendous international. Okay, Murray. Like what a Hendricks, isn't it? A very satisfied captain one would moment. And Mark Donald has come on the replace of Dave. Throwing to Lawson. Rennie caught by Stewart. Pigeon on. Side Scott 2 against the All Blacks. They're going over. Deans. And again. Rutherford to David Johnson. And the ref eyed it dangerous. Wilson acknowledged that it was Lawson. Deans. Now it's Lawson. On halfway. The wrong side of it, lost it, Donaldson out to Dunn. And Evan and his two. Olaf, lovely switch. Putting it straight out. So with time away, I'm under 2 actual playing time left. 14 points to the New Zealand margin. Dalton to Hayden, that marvellous, beautiful two-hand. And once they say the All Blacks able to their scrum to release from having. And now he gets it in. Donaldson by Bigger. Down Amby. But there were 3 of you there as well. So Scotland able to off the shackles. Music says in. And again, the back goes Richard halfway, running, caught by Gibson and by John. Penalty on, not Scotland sure on this one. Referee Roger has a look. They're into time now. They're going to try to move. It's the bit. Cloughlin, operations saying come back a little bit to give it more room. Lawson then, Dean's Flynn. That's Lawson again. Just low for Andia. That's kicked on there to Hayden. Lawson picks up. And again, speeding. What a charge the All Blacks. He was thinking goal before he got. Now it's out again to Donald. Lovely putt to Murray. Murray gives to Dunn. Another try by the All Blacks. That was it for them. They're trying the match. And it could have gone in a sense to deserve. Came here from the Gengham speed. He really a big hand in two Black stroke. Donaldson fed it. Eddie Dunn's thinking of goal, I'm pretty sure he recovered. So Notice hit the ball away to Dunn. That improvised. Moody checked and guess who was his elbow? The little man himself. 15 points the old lead. It's into time. And really it is to follow Richard Wilson in slot. And an 81 points credit in own. Steam maidens for the All Black. Oh, what a kick. Well, finish it than that. Wilson's version, bridging the complete side. 20 to 6 they lead. But again, see that black blanket, no seal off it. Donald. Bruce Hayways, straight out. Does with this world record British Isles since the 1905. They've lost only 214 matches. Another win coming up, but penalty against Maxted for going, and that seemed to be unlanded the face of Lee Dingley. Scotland going for the penalty. Now Alan's the key for the last. See if they change it. Lawson, yes, it's this time to McLaughlin. 92 feet down. Oh, and it was Alan Loyal caught there in but and forward is Crummage to New Zealand their own 20 front of their own post. Well, a lot of slipped the thought of Alan with it is David Johnson running wide to give him Mark Donaldson Manawa. Other played act for Manawa too before him as and surely will use and they Lambie Lawson got it rather for Stewart, kept it off and in goes Spear. Donaldson Mother preparation to bigger stop release and it's then listen to Johnston half to the right as he was tackled by Richardson on the line, and that's an all-embracing by the New Zealand fool. Stop the release. Dixon batting away. Looking for comes David Gray. Murray Taylor is on 22. Outry there. And Cunningham who got the ball eventually. It's a penalty against Donald. He done. Cunningham, the real pass was forward and Smith to. But then New Zealand straightening their ability. His counter-attack out and the whistle goes for the edge. Exciting match, fell it. Third quarter, without convincing victory facts by 20 points, was national, and of course based on their superb 4 tries, those leveraged by Stu Wilson.